Hi guys, Marika here with another video, and today is the real-time coloring of Neve, and I have put her on this card. And if you want to see that video with the sped up version of this coloring and the whole card making, then I will put up a link in the corner and a link in the description down below to that video, so you can hop on over and watch that. But if you are here for the voiced over real-time coloring, then you are in the right place. So this is Neve. Neve is a Little Miss Muffet stamp. She is a digital stamp. She's so adorable, and I have printed her on some Make It Crafty blending paper with my Epson Workforce 3640 with Durabright ink. The Durabright ink works fabulous with Copics, but also with watercolors, and so I'm really happy to be able to have that printer and be able to use it to print all my digital stamps. So I've chosen to print little Neve here with some gray ink, because I wanted to do a no-line coloring. So what is a no-line coloring? A no-line coloring is when you print very, very light lines and therefore gets a much softer view. Often when I do no-line colorings, I kind of add things and remove things and such, but today I am just doing her as she looks. So I'm starting out with her skin, and I am doing some dimensions on her face. I am not giving her a nose, I'm not giving her a mouth. This stamp only have pupils, so I've given her kind of the rest of the eyes, but I thought I would keep her without a mouth and nose. If you, however, want to have a mouth and nose on her and don't want to draw them yourself, there is actually coordinating faces for the polka dot pals characters. This is one of the polka dot pal character, and there is a digital stamp collection for you to be able to add the faces already in Word or what you use to print, and then you don't have to figure it out yourself. But you don't really need it. Like you see here, I have not given her a nose, but I have given her a little bit of a shadow just between her eyes to kind of give a little bit more roundness, a little bit more dimension, and get it to look a little bit more like a face. And after coloring her face, I'm going to tackle the rest of her clothes. And today I'm using some warm grays for all the white part of the images. Usually when I work with grays, I try to use the same grays in the whole image to kind of get it all connected. There is, however, one difference, and that is if I want to have it very neutral towards the brown tones, but have metals that I want to have as cold metals, then I would go for a cold grey on those metals. But usually I actually do warm greys on the metals too, because I kind of like the cohesion that gives. So then we have the warm grays I'm using today is the W3, W1, W00, and I usually use 0, 2 and 4. So basically, if you are out there, want to try Copics and want to choose some grays to work with, you don't need all of the grays, you only need every other grey. So you can either go for the very, very light double 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 5 and so on, or you go for a little bit of a darker, which is the W, just simple 0, and then all the even ones. Or if you want a cooler grey, you can go with the C's, or you want something in between, so you have both the toner and the neutrals to work with. I love different colors at different times, so I'm kind of happy that I do have the whole collection to play around with. Today, as I'm using the E40s and the E50s, which both are they are earth tones, they are browns. I thought the warm grays would work perfectly with those. So the E40s, which are my favorite brown, is a kind of a duller, more grayish brown, a more neutral brown. And I love it. I love them. And this image actually used the whole spectrum of the E40s. So I'm starting with the lighter E40s for the striping on her clothes and also as her jacket. And then I'm going with the darker E40s for her hair. When it comes to the shading part of all of her, I'm kind of going for a little bit of a mixture of a frontal shading with a frontal light source and a light source that is a little bit to the right side. However, if we're gonna be very picky, the way I'm shading the kind of hat, the thing hanging from the hat, the end of the hat, that's not correct, because I should have shaded more so that the head would have a cast shadow just where the hair is and where the left side of the hat is. That is how, if you're gonna be proper shading, that is how you're supposed to shade. I think I had it in my mind that I was going back and doing the cast shadows afterwards, but kind of forgot. I was actually doing this coloring live on Twitch. This specific one, I actually hadn't realized that you had to do a little checkbox to get it stay on Twitch, but I'm hoping to be able to do a lot more of those live streaming over on Twitch. I kind of like that platform the best because I can set it up in a whole different way than if I would use, say, my phone. Also, I can have my computer at the side and I can see what you are writing at the same time as I live streaming. So I kind of prefer that channel. But if you want to follow me there and get kind of notations about when I go live, there's going to be a link in the description down below to my Twitch channel. And there you can follow me, and when you follow me you can also kind of check in that little piece which says to get notified, and then you can get notified both on your phone and also on your email. You can watch Twitch through your computer, through your phones, through your iPad, any way you want to. So yeah. And by the way, while we are talking about subscription, there is a little red button down in the description down below. You can subscribe to this channel if you're not already subscribed. And if you head over to my blog, or if you are watching on my blog, in the upper right corner of my blog there is a possibility to sign up for my newsletter, where basically you get all my blog posts through your email. I personally love that way of having my having the person I choose to follow, having them come into my mailbox, because I don't usually use those kind of following tools and stuff, and getting the post right into my email means that I can read all the blog posts there, and if I see something that I want to see more of, I can always go into the blog and watch that. So that's a opportunity for you if you want to follow me. Now back to the coloring. I have been doing the E40 stripes on her hat, the E50 or E50's stripe. Also, I'm using the E53, 51 and 50 to get that kind of a creamy kind of brown. It's a very, very lovely brown. I actually really like it. I don't know, I like bright colors. For the past 2 years, I've been having my hair in really, really bright colors. Right now it's brown, just brown. I cut it all off for reasons, and now it's just brown. But I probably won't stay that for a longer period of time. However, my boyfriend kind of likes it in neutral colors, so I might just go blonde, but we'll see. I wanted to lose the brown dye I have before I do anything. But anyway, so right now I'm just I kind of like the neutral look. I've been doing a whole bunch of coloring with neutral looks lately. And coming up here, have a video going up on Wednesday and a video going up on Friday. So yeah, I'm back. For the pants and I'm sorry, there's a lot of small pieces where I pause. These are when I've been looking into the kind of the Twitch chat and looking, kind of wondering, do people really see me? Is there anyone there? And there were a couple of people watching me, and no one did chat with me, but that is okay. But hopefully more people will see me in the future and want to continue watching me and see me color. So yeah. I were kind of wondering which color I wanted for her top, and then I kind of realized just go with the darker brown or the E40s, because that's kind of a nice color. And when I do any kind of coloring, I have two different ways of doing it. One is like I do when I do the faces usually, and that is I'm putting in the lightest color first in the shadows to kind of figure out where I want the shadows. Then I go in with the darkest color and then go from dark to light. And the reason for me for going from dark to light is because otherwise I have to go back and blend the other colors, and therefore I will get a lot of a darker shade. By going from dark to light, I'm only doing one layer per color, and therefore I'm getting a lighter tone to the lightest pens. Copics have a little bit of a kind of transparency going. The lighter the pen, the more the transparency exists. And by layering different color on top of each other, or these colors on top of each other, you will get a deeper color. And that I actually very often use when I do hair. That is one of those times that I really do, because then I can go from light all the way down to dark without blending really, and then I go from dark all the way up to light. And usually I don't blend that much either, because as hairs I usually want the hair to look a little bit like strands, and then I don't want to blend out. The only time I blend it is if I'm just doing it not in small strands, but more just like a even flow. Then I want to blend it out to get the highlights as blended as possible. But when I'm doing it like this, where when I'm going in with the dark pen, which you can see here, is that I'm doing it in between in the strands. I'm leaving a light border on both sides of the strand, and this is because I want the strands to kind of pop from each other. Also, I'm adding the shadows that can be cast both by the face or by other hair strands to kind of build dimension, making it look like I have a little bit of dimension in the hair. This is my latest favorite technique of doing hair. Then I'm going in with the lighter color, in this case is the E47, and what I'm doing, I'm taking those like triangles, and then I'm just making bigger triangles. So on both sides of the brown, and then a little bit extra on the tip. And I'm putting it a little bit almost zigzag between each other when you have a light source. I'm trying to make them look like the lightest part, or the lightest part of the hair. The shine of the hair is a little bit zigzagged, because that looks a little bit more natural than just a clean break. Then I take the E44 and add a little bit more. Again, I am kind of just widening the triangle and then making a tip on it again. And then for the E43, I'm actually just filling it in. And that is kind of toning down that shine, making that shine a little bit darker, and in that way actually make it look a little bit more like hair. The lighter colors you use, the easier it is to get away with actually leaving it white. So that is basically how I do it. And when I do black hair, I usually do the lightest color in a light blue, because then you get the kind of blue shine, or you do it in a lighter grayish brown. That's my tips on doing hair. Now I'm doing the package, and I was like, should I just go with the browns or should I go with another color? I ended up going with the blue. Kind of regret it a little bit. I do like how it turned out, but I think it would kind of have been a little bit more cohesive if I went with the browns, or if I actually took a color that really popped, so that the package would really pop out of her lap. This blue, it doesn't look bad, but it didn't add anything, kind of. That's how I look at it. But I think it is every artist, and that is what we are as colorists. We are artists, and I think every artist look at their pieces and feel, yeah, I could have done that a little bit better. Sometimes you hit the nail on the head and you're like, this looks awesome. This looks awesome. And usually that is not what other people like. But hey, and sometimes you just feel that you really maybe wanted to have done that a little bit differently. But yeah, this is how she turned out. I hope you liked it. If you do, please thumbs it up. It means a lot to me. If you have any questions, just comment down below. Down below you have all the details and pens and everything I've used. And here are 2 card coloring videos that I made 2015 and 2014. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!